Welcome to the Ottawa Experts. We have a very special show for you today. I am your host, Alfonso Quadra, speaker, entrepreneur, and real estate investor. And of course, I'm also a host of another show here on Rogers TV, Success by Design Show. You can find it on YouTube or go to rogerstv.ca. And I got a great panel here. We're talking about going from being a Wantapreneur to an entrepreneur. And we have a panel of experts. First, I want to introduce Siham Benali. She's founder of BioSecrets and also fresh from her appearance on Dragon's Den. And I'm sure she's going to tell us a little bit about that. Here we have Jared Goldsmith, and a founder of eSAX, and he's a hardworking, committed, and persistence led him to making his passion, the saxophone, into a viable business. And here we have Majid, like magic, and he is an entrepreneur, author, and world traveler. You're going to tell us about how many countries you've been to. I think it's over 20 countries. It's very impressive. He also helps entrepreneurs to leverage their passions and strengths to get paid. He also co-authored the book. We have it here, Winning at Life. And of course, the number to call is 613-728-1001. We're going to do this, guys. As people are calling, we're going to give away books. So I have my book here, From the Ground Up. 3 steps. You're 3 steps away from living the life of your dreams. We have Majid's book. We have 2 tickets to
the eSAX event in January.
The eSAX event. So you guys call in, and we're also going to give you
100% pure and organic argan oil.
Ooh. So call in 613-728-1001. But first, I want to know your stories, starting with Siham. Tell us your story of how you got to, launching this beautiful product right here.
Well, the argan oil comes from my region and my culture. I'm born and raised in North Africa, and in Africa we are poor and we use only what Mother Nature provides. In 2003, after escaping the Algerian Civil War, I arrived here in Canada. And at the beginning, I started having skin problem and skin condition that I never had in my native country.
Was it the weather?
It was a mix of the weather, the new weather, the cold, but mainly because when I arrived, I was so overwhelmed with all the modern skincare that you can find on the shelf. And I was using, some product that wasn't, good for my skin.
We won't mention the product.
No, it's just, let's put it, modern cosmetics. And then, I just decided to stop and go back to my argan oil routine, something that I have always used. But I noticed that, skin problem, a skin condition, allergy is something very, very common here in Canada. So in 2012, after being laid off from a major bank I was working for, I just decided that it was time for me to have more control on my life and to realize my dream. So I started BioSecret by cashing my RSPs. It was my retirement saving. It was all that I had, because obviously the bank don't lend to you when you're a startup. So I took the chance and I started BioSecret. I started in Ottawa, so I am in a lot of natural health food store in Ottawa, and then I made the big plunge, and I went on Dragon's Den, which was a big success.
Yeah, and I heard you made them cry.
Yes.
And you got them to invest, which is really hard to do that. And I mean, they're really tough. They want you to have numbers and things. Exactly. So you did your homework. Thank you for that. Now, Jared, you turned a saxophone, which someone would say it's a hobby, into a business.
Yeah, Alfonso, so many people pursue music on the side. They think they've been hearing their whole life, it's tough, get a real job. Are you crazy? Music? Really? Well, most people know that music's a tough career. But I decided, after having bounced around government for about 10 years since I moved to Ottawa, contracts, 8 months there, I'd go on EI. 6 months there, I'd go on EI. A year here. After about 10 years of that, I said, enough's enough. I'm going to go into music, having played for almost 30 years. And I realized I didn't know anything about marketing or branding or what an entrepreneur actually does. It just seemed like the right thing to do, a good time in my life to do it. So I went all in, and I decided to get the word out about starting up a business, a rather unique type of ensemble like I had of saxophones.
So you have, it's a quartet, right?
Yes, we're only made up of saxophone players.
Wow.
Called Sax Appeal.
Yeah.
And I needed to do a lot of networking, entrepreneur networking, and that's how my other business, eSAX, developed was to bring entrepreneurs together, primarily startups, to help them network more effectively.
Good. And Majid, he knows about winning at life. He also helps people start up. The same thing, how you started up, he helps people transition from that. So, Majid, how did you get started?
Well, I've been an entrepreneur as long as I can remember, ever since my mom paid me $5 to clean my room. I thought, gee, if I only had
She
more
was your first
rooms.
client.
That's right, my first client, exactly. And ever since then, from the first business that I bought and I grew it and I sold it, I had more money than I ever had before as a 16-year-old kid. I started traveling, and so I bought a one-way ticket into South America and traveled all the way through and basically ran out of money and just had enough money to come home, and I thought that was awesome. Let's start another business and do that again. Ended up buying a business or starting a business, selling it and traveling and coming home until I had actually been to about 24 countries before I was 21, and now I asked myself, how can I go to a cool place that I want to travel to and come back with more money than I left with, right? So now my business is speaking and training and coaching, where I can go to an interesting place and do some work and come back. So what I help entrepreneurs do is leverage their strengths and their passion to get paid to do what they love, and teach them that entrepreneurship can be fun and easy when you're doing what you're strong at and you're following your passion and surrounding yourself by people who enjoy and are passionate about the things that you're not quite as good at.
Yeah, that's a good point, Majid, because a lot of people, they're passionate about a lot of things, but they're not necessarily strong in those industries, right? Maybe they, someone likes, has a passion for baking, but maybe they don't have the acumen to take them to the next level as a business, as a viable business. For example, if I wanted to start a saxophone quartet, I don't think I would get very far. Maybe on Rideau Street playing all kinds of music, but I'm sure nobody would want to hear my. Actually, maybe I would make a business. People would pay me not to play the saxophone.
Well, any business, you have to know your market, and you have to know it.
Yeah.
But it's another thing to know what to do as an entrepreneur.
So this is the question I want to ask you guys, because a lot of people want to be entrepreneurs. That's where we're talking about the Wantapreneur. And what happens? They have this idea, they have their passion, and they read all the books, they went to all the seminars, they've heard all these speakers, they went to all the networking, and now they have their office. Everybody's sitting in the office. They spend thousands and thousands on their office. And from my point of view, they're just playing office. People just playing office. What really takes for that person to get that business off the ground? Because from inside your office, nothing's going to happen, right? I mean, people, they have this, they have admin, they have to have this, they have to have the view. But where's the business? Where's the money being made? Are you just burning through money? So there's a term in business called burn rate. How much money are you burning, right? At what rate? So we'll start with Siham.
I think the most important is to have clients, because the DNA of the business is profit. If there is no profit, there is no business. And to have profit, you have to make sales. And to have sales, you have to have client. So in my case, I started, on the ground, and I went knocking on doors. And I have only my argan oil and how I call it, my crooked English, because it's my third language. And I was so scared to go approach stores and present to them my product, because it's not something that I have created. It's true, it's already on the market. However, mine, it's related to my story, and I come from the region and explain what is the differences on the market. And I was so passionate that people believe in me and give me, a chance and say, okay, we are going to put it on shelf. Give us maybe 5 or 6, and we go from there. And then I say, okay, I'm going to work with you guys. I'm going to the store and do demo and talk about it and spread the word about it. And this is how it starts. So it picked up in one store, and then in the second store, and the second store. And now I am only in Ottawa in 40 stores.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we're talking about from being a Wantapreneur to an entrepreneur. And the question was, how do you get from people thinking that they have to have this big office and the admin and the HR department and they haven't made a sale yet, right? So Siham says she went knocking on doors. So what keeps people from knocking on doors?
I think it's a great term, Wantapreneur. There's so many people who have the day job thinking, when I retire, I'll do what I really want to do and become an entrepreneur, and this is my idea. You both touched on it. Passion. to me, if you really want to become a successful entrepreneur, you have to have that spark, that passion that people are going to buy into. Because it's one thing to have the next best idea out there, but who's going to buy into it? People buy into people.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
knocking on doors and connecting with people, they're going to initially buy your products or services because they trust, they like, and they respect you. It takes time to build that. So to me, the number one thing of an entrepreneur is passion. It has to come across that you love what you do, you're made for that business.
Majid?
The difference between a wantrepreneur and an entrepreneur is an entrepreneur has customers. And as Siham said, the most important thing is clients, customers, right? And customers are people that have a problem that they're willing to pay you to solve. So most people, they want to wait until they're ready. And if you ever had kids, I ask people, when do you know you're ready? They say, you're never ready to have kids, but the sooner is better, right? And you're never ready to start your business. There's always 1,000 things you could or should be doing. But the one thing to do is find people that have a problem that you can solve and they'll pay you for. Those are called customers. That's the difference between a wantrepreneur and an entrepreneur.
Beautiful, beautiful. Now, do you, from your perspective, can you learn to be an entrepreneur in a university, for example? And is there, or does that kind of make you more of a technical person and thinking about what could happen? And does that get in the way of being an entrepreneur? So
I can tell you, I have a degree in entrepreneurial sciences. This is what I studied in university. And I can tell you that does not prepare you for business. Getting into business is not a process of learning, it's a process of unlearning. And the most important thing to unlearn is that failure is a big problem. Entrepreneurs know that failure means I tried something that didn't work, I have more information, and now I can try again. And the faster I try the next thing, and the more I learn from that thing and try again and get better and prototype and improve, that's the shortest path to success. But most people, like I said earlier, wait until they're ready. Wait until it's perfect. And if you've waited until it's perfect, you've waited far too long, right? And the market's moved and your customers have changed. So you have to unlearn bad habits that you've learned, a lot of work habits like I got to work from 9 in the morning until 5 at night and I have to go to a place called an office and I have to have a desk and all these things you're unlearning to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah. You see, I'm not ready because the phone should have been on my, I'm left-handed, but the phone was on the right-hand side, so I can't call customers if the phone, so I have to redo my whole office until, you know, so everybody spends their whole life getting ready. So what is the impact that entrepreneurs have on the world? Sian?
You can inspire people.
Inspire people, of course, yeah.
Yeah. Show them that it's possible. That if you have a passion about a service or a product that can, you know, fulfill a need and make a change.
You have a unique product because it's kind of like a social enterprise. Yeah. You do have profit, but you're also contributing something to society. So it's a unique business model that a lot of people are taking that model lately, which is good. Entrepreneurs are changing the world that way.
If you can make money while making a difference, I think that it's perfect. Like Arlene Dickinson was asking me, is it charity? Do you give a portion, you know, to those lady who works in the cooperative back in Morocco? And I said, there is nothing to do with charity. It's all about empowering. Those women are very, very proud and they want work. They want hard work, they want dignity, they don't want charity. And by sourcing my all from them, buying from them, it gives them income and they have back their dignity. Yeah. So this is what it's important, and this is why I say the argan oil make you feel beautiful from the inside out.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. No, of course, I mean, making a difference. Okay, we're going into commercial real soon. I'm just going to give you guys a number. When you come back, you can call 613-728-1001. 613-728-1001. Of course, if you call in the first caller, we'll get a copy of my book. Second caller, we'll get Majid's book. Third caller, we'll get the tickets. And the fourth caller will get the bioproducts. We'll be back.
The following program is brought to you by Rogers Anyplace TV. Enjoy exclusive content for free. Visit RogersAnyplaceTV.com.
He's in the clear. Score!
Are you in a long-distance relationship with your favorite team? NHL Center Ice can bring you closer. Watch up to 37 out-of-market NHL games per week so you can catch the games that matter to you. Don't wait for the highlights. See every big moment as it happens. NHL Center Ice. The game lives where you do. Eligible Rogers TV and Internet customers enjoy free access to NHL Center Ice. Start watching today.
Tuesday's daytime. Julie Buin is my guest co-host again on the show, and we're going to be talking about Whole Foods. A lot of people are excited about it coming to town, so we're going to find out what the buzz is all about. We're also joined by Julien Bazinet. He is a sommelier and represents a number of different wineries. He's going to be telling us about the partnership that they have with Graffiti's doing a Ruffino wine dinner, a great wine pairing dinner. And Adam Dufresne, who is a professional business coach, is going to tell us about how you can succeed on your New Year's resolutions.
We're lucky to have awesome waters just teeming with great tasting fish.
That's a pleasure.
So join me on my new series where I'll show you how to create a great tasting dish with local fish. Roger's new series, Catch the Kitchen.
We're back. And we're talking to entrepreneur experts. Of course, the number to call, 613-728-1001, 613-728-1001, and you have the opportunity to win some books. And, you know, we were talking earlier, what's going to take to be an entrepreneur? Well, if you if you read our books and go to the things and have these products, maybe you can you'll be one step closer. But the question that I wanted to ask you guys, because we're talking about going from being an Wantapreneur to an entrepreneur. This idea that people, they're afraid to leave their paycheck, and that's something that really can have a strong effect of whether someone's going to be successful or not. So we'll start over here with Majid. Can you tell us, what is this need to have this paycheck? Are we a slave to the bills because, the mortgage is paid on the first, the telephone bill is on the first, the car payment, and what's going to happen if I don't have money at the end of the month, right? So
sure, definitely. Well, the more payments you have, of course, the more you feel trapped financially, that you got to stay on the hamster wheel, make the money, pay the money, make the money, pay the money. And we have this brain, basically it's the same brain we've had for thousands of years, that says security equals survival. And for most people, a consistent paycheck means security. But what you don't realize is you have one product, which is you're renting your brain out for 40 hours a week, and you have one customer, which is your employer, right? If you were starting a business with one product and one customer, that would be considered a very risky business. Mm-hmm. So most people think business is risky, but if you think about having dozens or hundreds of customers and different income sources, you're actually very diversified from risk. If you lose one customer or two customers, it's not like when you lose your one customer as an employee and you lose all of your paycheck. So you can actually be diversifying your risk as an entrepreneur and not be at the risk of, if someone wants to lay you off to be more efficient for their business, you lose 100% of your income and customer.
Yeah, Jared?
Well, it's everybody has to make do. They have bills to pay. Some people can rely on their significant other, their spouse, to make ends meet while they pursue their passion. But if you don't take the leap, it's always difficult. What if? So at the end of your life, you don't want to discover, oh, I should have done this 10 years ago. Well, there's an ancient Chinese proverb. The best time to plant a tree was when? 20 years ago. Yeah, yesterday, yeah. Next best time is now.
Yeah.
So I say, yes, it's scary. Doesn't matter what you're going into, it's scary to start a business. It may or may not work, so that's why you have to do a lot of research ahead of time. See who your clients are. Are there clients for you? Is it novel? Is it something unique? But hang around other entrepreneurs, because other entrepreneurs, they get it. And it's very empowering. It's very enthusiastic to be around people who are going through the same issues as you are.
Yeah. And also you can trade ideas and things like that. Siam?
Me, I think it's a matter of choice. You have to decide. Do you want to be 9 to 5 all your life, or you want to take the risk and follow your dreams? Of course, there is nothing guaranteed. even when you are 9 to 5, there is nothing guaranteed. Tomorrow you can be laid off, and it happened to us. Yeah. So if you're willing, you know, to take control of your life, I think that the risk is worthy. It's not going to be easy. It's a lot of hard work. There is no security net. However, I think that it's worth it, because if it works, it works. So I think that the risk is definitively worth it.
And initially you're going from a 9 to 5 job that you left to a 9 to 9 job for quite some time. Until
so what if someone's
excuse me, you do it for yourself, no more for an employer.
And everything you're doing, you know it's going to pay off in 3 or 4 years from now. Because it's for you.
Now, there was someone that wrote in, and there was a question. Do you remember the question? We were doing this social media thing yesterday. We're asking people to give us some questions.
Oh yeah, and it was something we just touched upon. Yeah. I have all these bills to pay. It's very time consuming for me to go to these events. I know I need to network. I know I need to hear these sessions or buy books. Yeah. But I have to make ends meet. How do I juggle that?
Yeah, so you guys, you want to touch on that?
Yeah, so...
How do you juggle? How do you be, I got to pick up you have a client, but you got to pick up your kid at 4, and then you have to go over there for soccer practice, and then, you got all this life happening around you. How do you, get it all together and juggle it all and become, to ultimately reach that success?
Sure. So Jared's a networking pro, and if you go to a networking event in Ottawa, you're going to see Jared. Jared's got
you can't miss the hat.
No, I'm the guy.
But I bet if you looked at all the events that Jared went to in the last year, you could take 20% of those events and show 80% of his results. And this is the 80-20 rule, right? 20% of your clothes in your closet you wear 80% of the time. 20% of your customers produce 80% of your revenue. So if you want to become more efficient with your time, you look at all the things you're doing and say, what are the fewest things that are producing the most results? And you do the same in your personal life. So if you think about, if I want to spend quality time with my family, what are the few things I do with my family that really make great memories and make an impact in my relationships, and be there 100% with them on those? And who are the few of my clients that I really need to focus on and grow those relationships? And what are the few of my activities that I'm doing to build sales and do marketing that are going to make the biggest impact? And so you can't do everything. And a creative entrepreneur has so many ideas, and that's what's overwhelming about being in business. But if you start to get strategic and think, what are the fewest things that make the biggest impact, that's how you have some sanity.
Yeah, that's great. Now we have a caller, I think. Was that right? Louis, on line 1, you have a question?
Well, yeah, hi, I have a question.
Okay.
Hi, yeah, the question is, if I have a great idea, but funding sometimes is an issue. So how would it be about getting at least a little bit of money to start up my business?
Funds, right? Everybody has problems with funds. We'll start with Siham. Oh, go on Dragon's Den, by the way. Siham, that was a good part for you, but okay. Louis wants to know.
Yeah, it's very, very tough to have funding from banks, for example. But I know there is so many programs out there. There is a lot of grants. So I don't know in which field you want to start your business, but there is a lot of grants, and people don't know about it. And money is sitting, just waiting, to be given to entrepreneurs. So you might do some research, and maybe it will be something for you.
Yeah, and if you're anybody in the arts, there's some great arts councils around Ottawa, and there's somebody on staff to help people find applicable grants that would be work for you.
Is there some grants that you might qualify? Is there a time, like an age limit, things like that?
There's so many different grants. Yeah. Every grant has a different requirement. Yeah. Yeah. So it takes the time to find out what's applicable to your specific situation. Yeah. But don't be afraid to get out there and look.
Majid is probably he's an expert at this, giving money. He wants to give, Majid wants to give money to you, okay?
Yeah, Louis, as a matter of fact, I have a client in Ottawa called Invest Ottawa, and they give money to entrepreneurs just like you. And it's actually not the easiest thing to do, because we need to only give money to businesses that have a plan, that show proof that they're going to grow their business and be successful. Getting grants is not actually that easy. And so you want to ask yourself this, Louis, would you lend you money? Would you lend this business money? Would you invest in this business? I'll tell you the best source of capital is always going to be customers. If you can sell whatever it is that you're selling before it's even built, you're going to have money coming in, and you're going to have people vested in the outcome of you actually developing the thing that you need to develop. So now it's you got to do it or don't. In fact, this book, I was almost finished writing it, and then I started selling it. And I sold about 50 copies of it, and I said, I better finish it now, right? Because now you've collected money from customers, and that money paid for the design of the cover and the editing and the first print run, because I was, that's how I was going to raise money. I wasn't going to go ask for a grant. I wasn't going to go ask for a loan. So go to customers, collect what you need, so before you sell the thing, then develop it and produce it.
And we also have things like Quick Starter, right? I mean, you're selling your product before you even launch it. You're gaining, you're getting investors to invest in you making the product for them.
Thank you very much. I think it's been very helpful.
Thank you, Louis.
Good luck,
Thank you so much. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
Take care.
So that's a good point, you know, the money. But what other tools are available to entrepreneurs? Because if someone's watching right now, and you know they're sitting there, they're like, yes, I want to get started on this. Like, you know, but where do I go? What are some of the tools that you know specifically that can help someone out there?
Well, if it's a product and you're developing something, you have to watch the intellectual properties. Because if you go for a copyright or trademark, it could take a year or two to get done and finalized. So if you're coming up with a great idea, you want to finish it before other people come up with the idea, talk to a lawyer, talk to somebody who's specialized in that to protect your property, your intellectual property.
Yeah, so talk to a lawyer.
And as a matter of fact, Invest Ottawa, they give you free access to lawyers and accountants to get that kind of advice. This book, once again, I'll tell you, to do the design of the cover and the spine and the back, there was a local provider who quoted me $5,000. And I didn't know if it was that high or is that low, but I went to a website called elance.com, and it's a marketplace for people all around the world to bid, and I said, I need this design done, and I got bids coming in at $5,000, but then I got coming in at $4,000 and $3,000, and I gave the job to this Greek woman with 3 kids, spoke great English, does great work, full portfolio. Guess how much I paid her? $143.
Wow. Wow.
And she said, thank you very much, and that's a month's salary for me, and she did a great job.
Wow.
The world is the marketplace today. And if you got to look outside the border, and as much as I like to support local business, you can't compare 5,000 and 143. So elance.com and odesk.com, and there's another one called Fiverr, F-I-V-E-R-R.
I love Fiverr,
Yeah.
2 R's, F-I-V-E-R-R. You need a logo done? Boom, $5, 24 hours, the logo's done. You need a website done? $5, 24 hours, it's done. So quick and getting people online to do stuff that normally would take thousands of dollars.
Siham, you have anything, any tips for people, like tools? Go on Dragon's Den. Give us a little bit how you did it. Tell us how you did it. Dragon's Den, we want to know. People out there want to know.
Stories from the den.
Yeah, people ask me, how did you go on Dragon's Den? And I say, well, I went to the audition. First of all.
You know why? You just showed up, right? 90% is just showing up.
That's it.
Yeah, go and, you know, try. You have nothing to lose. And I think talking about mindset, this is very important. Say you have nothing to lose. Going to Dragon's Den audition, is it going to cost you money? No, it's here in Ottawa. They stop, you know, in major cities across Canada. And I say, okay, if they take me, fine. If they don't take me, at least it was fun. So I went for fun and I end up saying, hey, you made it to the second tour, so be ready, come to Toronto. I think that it's very important that, you know, you go forward and you say, worst case scenario, it doesn't work, so what?
Exactly.
And this was my mindset when I started my business, for example, when people say, are you crazy, you just lost your job, go find another job, you have, you know, rent to pay, you have food to put on the table. And I say, listen guys, this is my risk, this is my dream. If it works, fine. If it doesn't work, am I going to starve? Am I going to die? No. Like, honestly, we live in a country where you will not die of hunger. Worst case scenario, you go and you work at McDonald's. Worst case scenario. So just go do it. And if you work hard, it will work. If it doesn't work, at least, you know, you will grow from your experience.
We're just going to go to a break. We're going to come back and talk more to entrepreneurs, more after this.
Hi guys, I'm Dr. James Emmett, host and creator of the TV show Man Talk, a show dedicated to your health and well-being, talking about stuff the guys just don't talk about. Be authentic, be original, be extraordinary, every day.
There is evil in this world. Hatred and revenge.
What have you ever done that's that cool?
I watched Neil Armstrong walk on the moon.
On his bike?
We don't know who it is.
No, we don't know who it is.
That's you.
Doesn't sound anything like me.
It's not yet.
It isn't a party until the Rogers TV Tim Hortons Community Cruiser is on the scene. Hot coffee, tasty treats, and awesome prizes.
Hi, my name's Kathy, and I'm here today at the Mad Dash event raising money and funds for Mothers Against Drunk Driving. And we're on
Rogers TV! Where will the cruiser be next? Maybe at your event. Log on to rogerstv.com and find out how. Meanwhile, keep your eyes on Rogers for more cruiser moments.
The following program is brought to you by Rogers Anyplace TV. Enjoy exclusive content for free. Visit rogersanyplacetv.com.
We're back and we're talking to entrepreneurs. Actually, the theme for the evening is how to go from being a wantrepreneur to an entrepreneur. And we have a panel of experts here. Of course, we are giving some stuff away. Please write the number down, 613-728-1001, 613-728-1001. And of course, we gave my book, From the Ground Up, but the next caller will get Winning at Life by Majid. The third caller will receive a ticket to this. Can you just tell us a little bit about this event?
Oh, the Entrepreneur Social Advantage Experience. Large entrepreneurial networking events for Wantapreneurs and startups.
So if you're an entrepreneur, if there's a chance that if you go to this event, you become an entrepreneur.
There's a chance because you're connecting with other like-minded people and chambers of commerce.
Nice.
They're all in the room.
Nice. Can you tell us a little bit about the book that they will win if they call?
Winning at Life is your personal success guide, how to figure out what you want to do with your life and make a plan to make it happen.
And I just want to say I like the logo here. You know, you got the...
I'm not wearing I'm not wearing it under this one, but Superman's my hero.
So if you guys want some of these prizes, 613-728-1001, ask the question to our experts. And we are talking about going from being a wantrepreneur into becoming an entrepreneur, and where we're talking about tips and things. And we want to know, what is your secret sauce? What is your sauce? What is that thing that makes you, you know, that you think that's what, you know, gives you the edge? Siham.
For me personally, it's to wear my culture. It's telling my story. It's to relate to the product. Because nowadays the market is so saturated and overcrowded, and we are bombarded by all kind of commercial and top models and actresses. So for me to stand up from this crowd is just say, hey, I'm not a top model, I'm not an actress, I'm an average Canadian woman passionate about something that comes from my culture. So I don't hesitate to wear my color and to say that this comes from my culture as well, and I'm related to the product.
I love that, because it's, you know, as a consumer, we want things that are unique and that are, you know, maybe not so that found in Walmart everywhere. So I love that, Siham. And you, what's your sauce?
So the secret sauce to being an entrepreneur, you have to know where you want to be in 3 or 4 years from now. It seems simple, but somebody starting out or thinking of an idea, there's so many different ways to get there. And this is something actually I learned from Majid quite a few years ago. So you have to be persistent, consistent, to go to the events, to talk to other entrepreneurs, and figure out a way to get there. Where is your primary market at? How do you approach them? Is it every networking event in the city? No, maybe not. Maybe it's the Chambers of Commerce. Maybe it's a specific industry to attend. Figure out those questions, and that's the bun of the secret sauce.
Indeed.
For me, it's got to be focus. And there are so many opportunities that come as distractions for an entrepreneur. You get so many ideas, and entrepreneurs are the kind of people that act on ideas. So you start this, and you start that. And so if you're not every day focusing on what's the most important thing to do today, what's the most important thing to do right now, then you're the person that's drifting and moving 1 millimeter into a million different directions.
Squirrel.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, we all probably suffer that, you know, it's like we get so excited, and it's like, you know, every opportunity looks like a good opportunity. You know, if someone offers me, you know, a big cake, it looks like a good opportunity. I want to eat that, but maybe not the best for me at the moment. You know, I'm just trying to lose weight. I don't need the cake right now. I should pass on that cake, even though it's a great opportunity, but I should pass on it. But that's a good point. Do we get distracted? Is that our Achilles heel?
Well, I think so many times you'll meet somebody, and 6 months later they're starting something new, or a year later their email addresses don't work, and it's the same people. It's hard to build that long-term trust with them because you don't know where they're going to be in 6 months.
Yeah. So this is a good thing, because I want to transition into the branding aspect. You know, how important is branding, and branding yourself as the entrepreneur beside your product? So almost, you know, you have two separate entities. There's the CEO, the founder, and then there's also the product, you know. So how do we, you know, is that important to have two separate, you know? So sometimes if you brand the individual, now you can have different products, right? And then it continues the individual, you know, Siham?
Yeah, I think that it's important, like for myself, I cannot talk for others, but for myself, I become the brand. I become this argan oil from this Moroccan African lady. Yeah. After the Dragon's Den aired, people went on the stores, even not knowing what is the argan oil. They just see, we want this oil that was on TV from the lady with the blue dress. Yeah. So this is what the store...
Which is a beautiful dress, by the way. It's beautiful, beautiful.
Thank you. So just to tell you the, like branding, when you connect with your brand, and I become the brand of the oil, and the oil become me, so we become one product. And it goes back to the sauce. For me, it was my way to stand out from the crowd, and it worked for me. So of course, maybe Jared, I will recognize him, you know, among millions of people because of his hat and his and his tie. Yeah. And I think that this is genius. Maybe you inspired me, you know, to wear my Moroccan dress.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Nice. Which you forgot it.
I didn't bring it today. I bring it today. She said, enough, let me rest now.
So, Alfonso, branding is everything. You walk into a room, you have to be instantly recognizable.
So what is exactly, for people out there watching, like, what do you mean, a brand? Like, do I make my name into a logo? Am I now a brand? Like, how does it work?
That's a good question. I never knew anything about entrepreneurship or branding or marketing. I didn't want to be an entrepreneur. I had no idea. I just fell into it. Think of it this way. If you have a store and you have shirts that your staff wears, they always wear the shirts. You walk into the store, you know you're going to see people wearing that shirt. You have to brand it. So branding to me means as soon as they see you from across the room or next to you, they know who you are and what you do and what you stand for. So when I first started networking, I used to wear a music tie and a dress shirt. And then I got this hat about 2 years ago. Now I can't go anywhere without it. Often people say, oh, I was at this event, I thought I saw you across the room. So they send me an email, hey, great to see you at the event. I knew you were there, but we didn't talk. So some people, it's...
We actually have a caller. I see in line 1 there's Louis. Hopefully there's not another Louis, the same Louis, getting all the stuff. But Louis, you have a question? Hello? You have a question?
Yes.
Okay, this is different.
What do the experts think about franchising?
So the question, just so let me reiterate, the question is, you want to know about franchising, so buying someone else's system?
Exactly.
Okay, so we'll ask Majid to start. You can.
So Louis, my first business was a franchise. And when I bought this snow cone business, I got specific instructions on how to produce and sell the snow cone with a graphical brand. And we were talking about branding earlier, and brands establish trust. So people could know, and it was called Tropical Snow, and if they've ever been to a tropical snow before, they know what they're getting. That way, you know, when you're in one city or another city, you know a Big Mac is a Big Mac is a Big Mac. You know exactly what you're getting.
That's
you have
right.
certainty, and you have trust. And when you buy a franchise, you have a proven delivery system. You know what to do, what to say. When you buy a McDonald's, you know that when you get an order for a burger, you know you're supposed to say, would you like fries with that? Because it makes you more money. It increases your profitability. So you're getting a proven product and a proven system. The downside is you get less flexibility and creativity. I wanted to sell hot dogs and pretzels at my snow cone stand. I was not allowed to from the agreement on my franchise. So if you want to have a proven business and a proven delivery system and a product, get a franchise, but you don't have the creativity, and it may be prohibitively expensive. You might need $500,000 to buy a Tim Hortons, so you might want to come up with Lewis's Coffee, serve the same kind of coffee, and you just start it for the price of a coffee machine.
Jared, you want to touch on that?
I don't know much about franchises. I wouldn't be much into that question, Lewis. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. And Siham?
Well, I don't have a franchise in mind, but as a new immigrant, I was thinking and getting into a franchise system instead of wasting a little bit of not wasting the time. But I mean, as a newcomer here, it's gonna take me way more time to get on track.
Well, I know that the City of Ottawa has a national franchise show here once a year. So there are trade shows specifically for people looking to buy different franchises. So maybe that's something you might want to look into.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
Louis, you have any other questions?
No.
Okay. Thank you. So if you leave your name, you're going to find out. You just we'll send you this, and maybe you'll be on your way to being an entrepreneur.
Excellent. Thank you.
All right. So going back to a question that we talked about earlier, was about you're juggling the family, the kids, and this and that. But I want to touch more about family and how important is your family, because sometimes as an entrepreneur you have to do things. I mean, you talked about it. You have to be focused, and sometimes you can't sit at home and hold hands and love each other, because love doesn't pay the bills, But so how do you manage that, and what kind of encouragement should your family, or what could they expect as an entrepreneur? What is for them to expect? We'll start here with Siham.
Well, it's very important that your family support you, because going in business, it's so hard and it takes so much time that if your spouse, is not okay with it, you're really going to have, big problems. It's very important to have a supporting partner. The other thing is that it's very tricky because you work so hard. Sometimes you have 12-hour work. So you have to find a balance, because it's very easy to get lost in working, and just disconnect with your family and with your friends. So I understand that at the beginning you have to give the 200%, but don't forget that you work to live, you don't live to work. So always go back and think of how you can find again the balance that you had before.
I love that. Yeah, of course, you have to find the balance.
I think one trait of many entrepreneurs is they are workaholics, because they don't consider it work. They love what they do. So I could work as many hours as I want. Well, it helps that I'm single. I don't have a family here, so I'm able to put as many hours as I can into it, which is why I go to all these networking events in the first place. That's another story. But because to me, people say, wow, you work so hard. I say, I don't work. I play music, and I help connect people around town. It's not work. But I can understand having a family. Yes, you have to pick up the kids. You have to do things. So set your clock. I'm going to check emails between this and this time, and that comes down to time management. I know you're quite well versed in that.
Okay, so we're going to come back with that question with Majid. We did give away 2 books here. The number is 613-728-1001, and you can have an opportunity to go to those networking events and, of course, win this beautiful product, Bio Secrets. More with entrepreneurs after this.
Hi, I'm Derek from Daytime Ottawa, and here's what's worth noting. Discover 4 floors of world-class museum exhibitions and meet artists throughout the galleries. You'll also dance until midnight while DJs fill the castle with awesome sound at Nature Nocturne, 1 in a Billion, November 28th at the Canadian Museum of Nature. Visit nature.ca for ticket information. Shop for handcrafted items and local food products as you visit the animal barns and exhibitions at the Barnyard Bazaar, November 29th at the Canada Agriculture and Food Museum. Visit the website for more information. Discover delicious local food products and lovely handcrafted objects at a traditional shopping experience inspired by outdoor Christmas markets. It's the Christmas Market, November 27th to the 30th at the Canadian Museum of History. Visit historymuseum.ca for more information.
Favorite letter is you, 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 you. My favorite letter is you, 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 you. My favorite letter is you, you, you.
We're back, and we are talking about how to go from being a Wantapreneur and becoming an entrepreneur. And we've had a really great conversation here this evening. And before the break, we were talking about family and how, you know, your family, what are the, you know, what can they expect? What should you expect? So we'll start off with Majid. He was going to touch on that.
Yes, we were talking about family, and it's an important topic because most people who decide to become an entrepreneur is they want to improve their quality of life. Just like any major life change, you want it to be better. But then they find themselves working more than they've ever worked before, and when they're with their family, they could be sitting at the kitchen table and they're thinking about work. So what do? Well, I only recently, about 3 months ago, now have a room that is my office with a door. But before that, my office was the kitchen table. So I had to really be communicating with my family. When am I working and when am I just playing on the computer or I'm not really in work? And I need to also know that myself. Is this work time or is this playtime? So having those clear boundaries, and some people will go as far as dressing in professional clothes when they're working, even at home, and then changing into the casual clothes. So it's just a signal to their body.
It's just a mindset. I love that. I love that. I love that.
So know when you're working and know when you're not working.
You know, your voice changes when you're in a tie or a suit, or you know, and if you're dressed up, your voice changes when you're on the phone. So think of yourself making these cold calls or sales calls, and you're just like, you're relaxed at home. You're like, yeah, how you doing? I'm all right. Yeah. I want to sell you this thing. Yeah. You know, so you got to get into this mindset, right? So you got to almost like prep yourself. So I can identify with that. Now, for the people out there, and by the way, if you're just tuning in, we're talking about how to become an entrepreneur. You can call in 613-728-1001. That's 613-728-1001. And we had a lot of goodies. We did give away these 2 books. And now we're going to give away two tickets to the eSAX event, which is?
January 7th, Wednesday.
That's with who's going to be speaking there?
Oh, we have Mayor Jim Watson, the West Ottawa Board of Trade, previously the Canada Chamber of Commerce, Steve Klein from Marketing Breakthroughs, and Teresa Scrivens from Runway Networking.
Nice. So we're going to learn about being an entrepreneur. And what are if they call in, I guess the 4th person would get BioSecret oil.
Again, oil, very powerful moisturizer for dry skin, mainly in winter.
This is good for men.
For men as well, exactly. You can use it as an aftershave and use it for, to avoid your skin to dry out during winter.
I mean, you're only 13 years old. Amazing.
Yeah.
You see, this is what.
I'm 35 and they still ask me ID at LCBO.
Really?
I'm
there
not kidding.
It must be the oil. So we're talking about being an entrepreneur, and we have a caller. Perfect. Emma. Sorry,
yes,
how do you say your name?
Emma,
how are you?
I'm
you have
great,
a question
thanks.
for us.
Super show, by the way, really good.
Thank you.
So impressed.
Thank you.
I have a couple of business ideas. I'll share one with you. I'm just wondering how to proceed because it's an interesting product. It's actually an eating plan, And I feel that it's a technique of eating that can help people overcome a junk food habit. So it's, as you can see, it's an interesting technique. It's an interesting way of eating, and I'm not sure how to proceed because I think it's a really winning idea. And I can imagine, for example, nutritionists going on one of those big talk shows and taking the world by storm with this great idea, but I'd like to cash in on this great idea, and I'm not sure how to proceed.
Good.
So I don't know if that's enough information.
Is, you have a great eating plan, and you want to know what to do. What should you do next? So we'll start with over here with Majid.
Okay. Is it MA?
Yes.
MA. So start right away marketing and selling this product or service, or however you're packaging it. It actually doesn't matter how you're packaging it. There are features and there are benefits. Features are it's on 4 DVDs and it's 10 pages long. Benefits are you're going to stop craving junk food. You're going to start losing weight. So focus on the benefits, not the features, and then sell people the benefits and ask them how much would you pay to no longer have a junk food craving and to start losing weight. And if they say $100, $500, start saying, okay, I take credit card and check and take the money and deliver the service. Then you start getting feedback and customers right away.
Great.
Okay.
I'd also suggest going into some of the health food stores, industry specifics, dealing with the health and wellness industry. Talk to potential clients and people who you might already know in the business. Get some ideas.
Right.
Because it's so important to talk to people and do your research.
Yeah. So research. And
Okay.
Me, I think that you should start by a business plan. Put everything in place and see, first of all, who is your target market. And the other thing, who is your competitor? Make research to see if somebody else didn't do it before you. Because I know that in this space, it's very, very competitive. From there, what you can do, you can start with family and friends and to see what's their feedback. And according to the feedback, as Jared said, go to retail and to see if something that it will be interested in. And from there, you know, little by little, you will have a more clear path.
Right.
Just a word of caution, when you're looking at competitors, if you see that nobody else is doing it, that's not always a good thing, because that might mean that someone has tried it and failed. If you see that other people are doing it, that's actually a good thing, because if there are successful competitors, that means there are customers, and you can improve on their approach. Just like there was a famous workout video called 8-Minute Abs. It was all the craze. You could get abs in 8 minutes, and then something better came out called 7-Minute Abs. 7-Minute Abs.
I'm more into the 2-minute abs.
There you go.
So improving on an already...
Sorry?
Improving on an already good idea is also a good idea.
Yes.
But the most important is you put one foot in front of the other and move forward. And maybe this idea might turn into something else, and maybe it might turn into something else, but you'll never know until you start.
So I look forward to seeing you at the eSAX event.
Yeah, well, so you got the tickets to the eSAX event, and you get your... Yes. So you... Yes. So you leave your information. Thank you very much for calling.
Thank you. Oh,
yes.
My pleasure. Good night.
Okay, good night.
Bye.
So that's another person, wanting. There's so many people out there. They're stuck. For the people out there watching this show that didn't get the opportunity, we do have an opportunity for one more caller if you want to get the oil. 613-728-1001. You have to do it quick because we got about a few minutes. But what are a tip? What's a tip you can give them? We're going to go a tip that you would offer somebody right now that wants to start a business or just get started. We'll start with Majid.
Yeah. So to go from a wantrepreneur to an entrepreneur, my tip is get out of your own way. And you're in your way because you're thinking, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it wrong, or what are people going to think, or what if I can't sell anything? Forget all that and go straight to the most important thing and the only thing that goes from an wantrepreneur to an entrepreneur, which is a customer. You talk to people and you say, do you have a problem that I could solve? Here's how much I charge. They pay you. Done. That's it. Get out of your own way.
Jared?
I say the tip, being a wantrepreneur, start making these connections with people. Start going to the events where you think your market might be, or your peers or your mentors, to learn from them. Because like any relationship, it takes time to build. Many people might not buy your products or services right now when you just meet them. Here's my card. I'm so great. You need my services. Or like you were saying, it's your benefits. You need to build these relationships, and it takes time. So start going out and chatting with people and learning
Get
about
out
them.
there. Get out
Get
there.
out
Meet
there.
people. Meet people.
Get out there and network. Yeah.
Yeah. See him?
Me, I think that the tip that I can give is follow your gut. If you really want it, it's scary, but follow your guts and don't let people discourage you. You will have a lot of people around you to discourage you, either because they're afraid, either because they don't have the courage that you have. So go for it. And what is very important, find a mentor. Mentor.
How important is having someone that's already gone through this path? How important is that?
Most mentors have been there. They've failed. They've succeeded. Maybe more times than they've cared to wish. But they know models that might be applicable to you that would work.
Yeah. It's guidance, right?
Yeah, you don't have to reinvent the wheel.
A mentor gets you there faster with fewer scrapes and bruises because they can warn you where you're going to get injured, and they can say, change your course a little bit because that's going to be a bad way, so you're going to get there faster.
So what would you say to people that are kind of shy? They're just like, oh, I don't know, I don't want what he's someone successful that's been there. They don't have time for me. I'm just getting started. What can I offer them? Because they feel that they have to exchange something. So what would you say to that?
People like to help people. People like to mentor. They don't like to necessarily have an ongoing responsibility that they don't know when it's ever going to end, and they don't know if it's going to be a good two-way relationship. So instead of saying, will you be my mentor forever and meet with me once a week until we die, say, can I take you out to coffee? Yeah. Can I take you out for lunch? And then if you see a potential to do some more mentoring together, then can I take you out for mentoring or lunch in another month?
Thank you, guys. What a great show. You see the time just flew by?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for coming. We were talking about going from Wantapreneur to an entrepreneur, and we were here with Majid, Jared, and Siham. And you know what? It was a fun time. Everybody out, you can call in, get all the information to get the prizes. But other than that, great show, guys. You have anything to add? Quotes? What's your favorite quote?
Well, I have a quote that I came up with a couple of years ago. It says, if you don't network, you're not going to have any work.
If you don't,
so you got to get out there.
Yeah, you got to get. Any Majid? Oh, there we go. That's the. Okay, that's it. Next time with Ottawa experts.